What's up, cool cats and kittens? Welcome
Man,
to another episode of Command This. It's the middle of training camp, and everybody's all up in arms about one thing or another. Big things are happening, and the season's only a month away. We're going to talk a little bit about that next.
good evening, everybody. It is August 9th, and we're here for another episode of Command This. We're talking some week 3 training camp. What's good, fellas?
We live, we here. It's Tuesday. Who am I kidding? It's the worst day of the week.
Not quite hump day, but you're still.
No, we're halfway up the hump to the hump.
Yeah, straight up. Well, for those who haven't caught it yet, Phil and I had the pleasure of attending the Washington Commanders open practice at FedEx Field on Monday, and it was a great experience. But before we go any further, it's me, Steve. Phil gave you the intro, and we also got Dev here joining us as well for the audio crowd who's not watching this on YouTube. So, yeah, Phil, let's just go ahead and start and talk about the experience at FedEx Field Saturday, which technically kicked off at 6:45 p.m. I believe they opened the gates around the parking lot at 2, and I think they opened the gates technically around 4-ish, give or take, and then they practiced off at 6:45 and ended around 8:45. Would you say? Something like that.
Yeah, 8:45. That's when we walked out and everything was ending. It was I got there at 5:30. So I got there before any of the festivities started. I walked around a little bit. I checked out, how the stadium looks with the new logo, and it does feel like they put a little fresh coat of paint on the stadium a little bit. I mean, it's FedEx. You can only do so much with it. But it does feel freshened up a little bit. It's hard to explain because it's all very small, minute changes, but they feel good. And the field looks great. They put down the new turf. They got the logo, the W in the center of the field.
Dubs.
It's clean. It's simple. And I sat in the club section. It's the first time I ever sat in the club section at FedEx. And man, I don't know if those seats were there before, but the seats they got in the club section, I'm kind of spoiled.
No, they are brand new, revealing for this season. Apparently, they're state-of-the-art mesh seating, which is designed to be 32 degrees cooler than the traditional plastic seats. It really only does well in the summertime. I don't know about the wintertime. I guess it's just going to be even colder, but hey, felt great on Saturday, though.
I mean, they feel wider, too. Like, I'm a big dude, all right? I'm a nose tackle sized guy. And I sat down that seat and I felt, roomy, the cheeks were comfy, everything. It just felt good. Like I sat down, it was comfortable. Everybody was in great spirits. There was, I guess maybe because it's early in the season, just we don't have those feelings of negativity around yet. And Steve will attest to this. It felt like home.
It sure did.
Maybe because we were the only team on the field, but it felt like home.
I did see a couple random jerseys or T-shirts or shirts from other teams, but it was probably less than 10 to 12. Cool that they came out. It's football, right? If you like football, why not?
I mean, it's free. I saw a couple Ravens fans there. What do you expect? I mean, you are in Maryland.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're talking about 10 or 12 that you saw out of probably about 10,000 people that showed up.
Yep.
What Ravens jersey did they have on?
Just a Ravens shirt.
I saw a couple Eagles fans. I think I saw a couple Cowboys fans. They're all over this place. A couple Bills fans, which was interesting. And then maybe a couple other. I can't remember the rest, but the atmosphere was great. Say what?
They were trying to kidnap McKissick.
Yeah, they came back to finish what they started. They're gonna be out for blood. I don't. Do we play them this year? I don't remember.
No, we do not.
Thank goodness. But yeah, the atmosphere was great. Stadium looks good. The W looks great. We saw the marching band, the 60-person ensemble. I sent that to old Chop Chop. He's like, "Yeah, seen it before. Not really impressed." So we saw.
I wasn't either. It sounded really low. Like it sounded like it wasn't a band.
It did, and remember he said that on the show. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I don't know which way it's going to be at, but I'm going to point up here. I'll place the card right here. Go check out that episode where he said going from 100-person ensemble down to 60, you're gonna lose noise, clarity, stuff like that. So I guess it's inevitable. We saw the new dance squad, the hype squad, the new elite. What do they call it? Elite
Command Force.
Command Force. I don't know why I'm saying elite. That was
because Elite Force was the name of Mariah Carey's backup dancers.
Actually, they danced for many people.
They did, but they were most famous. They were in all of her early videos. All right.
Yeah.
Go watch Dream Lover and all those old videos, and you have
Take me up, take me down.
Yes. Go watch the videos, the dancers in those videos. That's Elite Force. And I guarantee you that's where they got the name from.
I'm shocked Dev didn't tune in singing. Usually he's the first one to jump in and start singing a tune or something. Mariah Carey comes out. He didn't say a word, man. I'm disappointed in you.
Man, I didn't know any of them dudes. Man, I didn't know they were the backup dancers. I know Full Force from the block from a house party.
Yeah,
Full Force. Yeah, I mean, Full Force.
They danced for Diddy. They danced for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know
the name. They just took the name and took the flavor. And they were pretty good. They weren't bad. Looked like to see more. It was fine. It was a good performance. And they went right into the practice. It was started out individual drills, 1-on-1s. 7-on-7s. Like, again, if you haven't already done so, please go check out the video we did on YouTube. Phil and I tried to get as much good content as possibly could. Phil got some great footage from the cell phone. I'm not going to lie. Your Samsung video footage is better than my iPhone. I will be the first to openly admit that.
I'm telling you, the rear-facing camera on this thing is amazing.
I was editing the video, and I was like, oh, that's my video. Oh, that's Phil's video. I'm going to use that. Because we had a few of the clips that were recorded the same. I'm like, nope, I'm not using mine. Use yours. It was good stuff. So please go check out the video. We tried to capture the highlights. Carson Wentz looked pretty good. He had some throws. He was high and away. It's been a lot of talk about training camp that Carson Wentz.
Let me set the record straight because I was there, and Steve was there. Did Carson Wentz look like the next coming of Joe Montana? No. Did he look worse than Sam Howell and Taylor Heineke, as someone alleged on Twitter? Someone who's got a lot of pull in our media?
No. Not even close.
He looked far and away better than Heineke and Sam Howell. And in fact, Steve and I saw this in action. All right. Carson Wentz had this beautiful throw. Actually, Steve missed the Carson Wentz throw I'm going to mention, where he stepped up in the pocket and avoided the rush, and just with a flick of the wrist, 50-plus yards in the air, hit a receiver down at the 2. It was a beautiful throw down the middle, which, Dev says that Carson Wentz never throws deep down the middle. This was deep down the middle.
The one I saw was like 90 yards, bro.
It looked like it. No, it was about 55, 60 in the air. It was beautiful. It's something we've missed. A quarterback.
Man, that looks like the one I sent you was from end zone to end zone. Is it only a 50-yard field or something?
No, but they had people standing.
It was Mark and Michael was the Mark and Michelle. People are mispronouncing it. Mark and Michelle is the one who caught it. I think he's related to Sonia Michelle, believe it or not.
I thought that was
right.
I thought it was Sam. You talking about the one I sent you where he took 2 steps back on the 2-yard line and threw it all down the field?
No, it wasn't the 2-yard line. It was what it is that looked like it because they had the team standing on like the 30.
Yeah. And
they're subbing them in and out. Like the offense is on the 30 and the defense is on the sidelines. And they kind of had like L shape. But anyway, I mean, it was an incredible throw. It was like a real testament to the fact this guy's got an arm, and he dropped this dime right in the receiver's hands. And someone says, "Oh, it was short." I was like, "Dude, first of all, that was 60 yards in the air. Secondly, it was just a little flick of the wrist, and he dropped it in front of the defender into receiver's hands, which is where it's supposed to be in that play, because the defender
took 2 steps
between the receiver and the end zone.
He took 2 steps and just sit there and just threw it. He didn't even like put nothing into it. It looked like he just stepped back and was like,
we're not used to that, all right? But then the next drive, Heineke's out there, and he threw a 30-yard pass in the air, and I swear to God, it's like he ducked. He put his entire body into it, and he was still behind Kelvin Harmon. Kelvin Harmon's just that good. He's mossed a couple guys on Saturday night. Reached back, stopped, and caught it. But I don't think he was intentionally throwing a back shoulder fade. That was Kelvin adjusting on the fly. Yep. But that's the difference. Carson Wentz, 2-step, flick of the wrist. Taylor Heineke.
When they were coming down when they were coming down to the field doing the marching down to score touchdown, he was holding on the ball a little bit long, but I wonder if the coaches told him to hold on to the ball to go through all the progressions. I'm hoping that, because he was sitting in a pocket, getting happy feet, and then he would let it go. But had a great touchdown pass to Terry, and the team looked great. Ron finished out the night with breaking it down and thanking everyone for coming out. Lots of attitude. He's like, I hope you guys enjoyed the passion and the aggression which we practiced with tonight. And then, one of the coolest part was watching the players stick around and just sign out. Chase Young was there for like an hour signing autographs afterwards. Carson Wentz, Phil pointed this out, pulled a kid out of the stand and hooked him up, right out of over the players' tunnel. It was awesome. Little kid, probably, I don't know what, 6-7 years old, not that big.
Yeah.
It was just really, really cool. And then we finished the night. And we walked out, man. It was a good time. Traffic was a little bad on the way out. They're a little bit rusty.
Wasn't for me, but that's because I stuck around. I hung out in the I hung out where the players' lot was, because I was walking to my car and I got caught in the crowd. So I was like, well, I'll just hang out here. And I was watching different players interact with the fans. Some players, it was funny because a lot of people got mad because Terry didn't sign autographs afterwards. First of all, Terry stood on field and signed autographs.
Yeah.
But something that maybe you've never seen one of these before. These guys were all leaving with food. Like they had 2 or 3.
Well, they remember up on the 3rd floor. I missed it because I got there later, but they had the Taste of DC. They probably secured a bunch of that for the players too. They were trying out 3 separate. One was from Silver Spring, one was from and 2 were from DC. Whatever they were, I don't even remember what they were.
All I know is that they had a carving station for pulled pork, and it looked delicious.
Banging, and pretty good stuff. So if you haven't done so, please go check out that video. We'd really appreciate that.
By the way, I'm going to continue my Kelvin Harmon caping just for a minute. That dude came out to sign autographs in the parking lot, and that dude is jacked. Like, I mean, obviously, the dude had a shirt on, but you can see like dude's triceps are just like bursting out of this Under Armour he's got on. I'm just like, fuck, this dude looks like DK Metcalf right now.
I mean, the problem is as much as you say that, the wide receiver room's getting mighty crowded, because what are we also hearing out of camp? That old Dax Milne is making an impression, and he might. A lot of people are saying,
I told y'all Dax Milne's going to play, man. Dax
Rio's been really hyping this. He's been at training camp every day.
He looked that good on Saturday to me.
He didn't. We just didn't see a lot of him because he was mostly with the 2s.
Dax looked good in the games last year. Fuck all that practice. Like, Dax looked good in the games. He looked as good as De'Ami Brown.
Well, we didn't know De'Ami didn't practice.
Yeah. Some people are saying Dax might get that final spot.
Man, I think Dax is going to make it. I think Dax is going to make it, man. I don't think it was ever a question, honestly, because there's no one else that has been as good at slot on the team.
Right.
I mean, what's that didn't play last year, man? Samuels, Downey don't play slot. I mean, Sims plays it a little bit.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's been playing outside in practice from what I saw. I didn't go, but it seems like he's been playing mostly outside.
It's true.
I think Milne is the backup slot, and I wouldn't be surprised if we played some games. Like
he's dynamic. Honestly, if he can be that outlet over the middle, we could turn him into a Cole Beasley.
Why it's got to be white dog? He can't turn to a Julian solution. How
Julian
come he can't turn
Edelman,
into a Juju Schuster, man? Or whatever his name is, because his wife.
Adam Humphreys,
Right. In Wes Welker, you gonna name him next?
Wes Welker,
Yeah.
Cooper
Kupp. Yeah.
Wayne Corbett.
Right. All the white receivers.
That's Dax Mill. No. Hey, I'm just glad he's on our team. It's cool.
He's gonna throw all the white adjectives at him next. Works so hard, he hustles. So smart.
He's so articulate.
Right. His credit is so good over the middle,
So let's get to the most current news today. It was announced maybe lunchtime or so that Ron Rivera had fired defensive line coach Sam Mills III. And Sam Mills was just out at the Hall of Fame game this weekend. I guess his father got enshrined and comes back to DC or Washington. He got the can today. Now, we all know coaches, your team and your bench of coaches is set before the season starts. So for him to fire someone 4 days before the preseason opener, there must have been either something very, very egregious happened that you can't go back from, or something that's just been building for a long time and you can't get through it. The reports were that there was, a difference in philosophy and something had to be changed. And there's other rumors going around from the media that the players just weren't vibing with his coaching philosophy and his personality and his style. Some of the other content creators saying he just looks like he's in chill mode on the sideline. He's not very involved. So,
well, we heard this before.
We did
about Mills
last year, if I believe correctly, because the defensive line wasn't performing.
Yeah. In fact, I remember hearing this 2 years ago. But then when the defense was stepping up as the season progressed, that heat came off of him. I think that maybe we need to look a little bit more at the position coaches than we do. We have a tendency to go top down with our criticism. So we've been saying, Del Rio needs to change up. Well, maybe some of this does fall on Sam Mills. He's coaching up these guys to do X, and they really should be doing Y. So hopefully with a change of philosophy, maybe something a little more in line with what Del Rio wants to do. And maybe that's some of that philosophy there. Del Rio wants things to go a certain way. Mills is coaching these guys to do something else. They underperformed. So if they're underperforming, obviously whatever he's coaching them to do isn't working.
Yeah.
Here's the cool thing. Who was involved in camp today? You had the edge rushers working with Ryan Kerrigan. You had the defensive tackles working with Warren Sapp. And we got this brand new dude who's in a defensive line who looks like he could strap on the pads and go play about 50 snaps right now on the line.
So hold on. I don't think he's brand new.
No, he was an assistant for a while.
Warren Sapp was back today?
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. Warren Sapp was there when he got fired. Warren Sapp was there when dude got fired.
Totally missed that.
Ryan Thug liked him, man. He did.
He did.
But this is actually
you want to go to your dad's Hall of Fame instead of practice, huh?
He emptied the clip on him.
That's for everyone who wants to talk about Carolina North. Remember, Sam Mills was
in Carolina.
Ron guy. He's a Carolina guy, period, because his father left the Saints for the Panthers when the Panthers first established themselves in the league. So there's a long lineage there that goes back to with Ron, because it was his father that kind of got him in with Ron because he was already big with the organization. So he's been with Ron quite a while, from what I understand. And Ron just fired one of his own Carolina guys. I think that sends a message to the other coaches that says, I will fire one of my own at this point. We are here to win this year.
More pressure on people like even Jack Del Rio knows your ass ain't safe, bro. You're not safe. But maybe this is something that Del Rio has been trying to do for a while and coach wouldn't let him. And now I don't know. But with the addition of Ryan Kerrigan hanging out and, like you said, Warren Sapp, that's a lot of knowledge right there. And then, if you look at the guy back here, Mr. Jeff
Zgonina.
Zgonina.
He used to play in the league, right?
He did. He played for the Texans, and the dude is just jacked.
Yeah.
He's just
I remember
jacked,
him in
and
the
he
league.
looks intense when he was going over hand drills with the defensive lineman. Man, he was really getting into it. So, at least you're having another player coach these guys. So it's pretty cool. We'll see what happens. I wasn't attached to Sam Mills, but I mean, can't get any worse, right? That's what you gotta look at. So yeah, welcome, Coach Jeff Z is what we'll call you. It looks like Mr. Incredible. Looks like Buzz Lightyear. Looks like if you've seen that movie, Small Soldiers.
Looks like
the commando guy from Small Soldiers looks just like him.
He looks like the Tick.
The Tick. Yes, I can see that too. Big, sharp chin, perfect hair.
Yeah, he looks like one of those cartoon versions of Superman.
He does. Yes.
Like if Superman aged just a little bit.
Yeah, retired Superman.
But you know what? I kind of like that we have somebody who's got that. Someone I like the idea of a coach, who's not that far out of the league, but because he hasn't been out of the league that long. Like if you've been out of the league a long time and you let yourself go a little bit, that's understood. This guy hasn't been out the league that long.
Doesn't have that problem, clearly.
Doesn't have that problem. I like that because it shows the players that, hey, I'm still in that weight room. I'm still trying to keep myself in good shape. I'm still trying to, do that, put in that work. If he can get in there with those guys and be working out right next to them like that, that's just that camaraderie that makes you want to follow. You want to follow someone who's going to lead by example.
Yep.
And I don't think, you see, for everyone talks about Ron, I don't think has that problem. Ron coached this team while fighting cancer. I don't think anyone's going to question his commitment to this team.
You always want a leader of men. Very important on an NFL football team. So regardless of everything else.
We've definitely we saw quite a bit of that on the sidelines.
Yeah.
When we were up in the stands. We were watching a lot of the interactions. What's her name? Jennifer King. Man, when she's doing running back drills and she's hitting those running backs, she's
awesome.
Whacking them.
Beating the piss out of them. Love it. Gibson needed it. They had this drill where it's a ball and they clearly have some apparatus on the cap and there's like a rope or a bungee tied to it. So they're holding it and the coach is just yanking on it as they're running to try to get it out of their grip. And we saw Gibby doing it over and over again. Like clearly they've.
See, I've always wondered, like on fumble drills, like how can you actually successfully run a fumble drill whenever you're not going to fumble if you know for a fact they're going for the ball? You know what I'm saying? Like nobody ever fumbles knowing that somebody's going to go for the ball on this play. You always fumble when you don't see it coming. Like Gibson ain't the type of dude that gets hit and the ball comes loose. He drops the ball in traffic. He just gets it smacked out of his hand. He doesn't get like yanked out of his hand or hit and loses it. He always like runs a screen and then, oh no, I dropped the ball, or somebody just smacked it, his arm, and it falls out.
Well, I think the idea is that you should run expecting someone's trying to make you fumble at all times.
I mean, we learned that in elementary, man. I had less fumbles in middle school than he had his whole career, man. Like,
well, you were probably also 6'2" in middle school.
Nah, I was a little guy. I grew like 5 inches my senior year of high school, man. I was the smallest guy on the football team too my senior year. No lie.
I remember growing up, I was probably like 12. All I wanted to be was a running back. Because I started as a tight end and I got my chance and I broke through the hole. I cut left, I cut right, and I had nothing but daylight up the middle. No one around me at all. And then what do? On the first stroke of running, the ball just bloop.
Yeah,
right.
It happens to everybody. I dropped.
And then I became a quarterback and didn't have to worry about it anymore. That was my 8-mile moment. That was my one shot, and I was 50 yards, and I failed. Failed. But
I dropped hella punts. It happens, man.
So was it like mom's spaghetti coming out your hands?
That's right. Were you as bad as Chris Sims back there? That was his name, right? Who was our old punt returner? Little short number 15?
Steven Sims.
Sorry, Steven.
Yeah, but he didn't drop him though, did he?
Oh, that dude.
That's why he made that.
Just ran backwards all the time.
And still didn't have a spot on the squad the next year.
Yeah, he could not hold on to the ball. We saw him in a flash spot, and then the year he got full-time duties, he could not catch a punt to save his life. But let's move on to Carson. the news coming out of camp today is that Carson has had his best practice all week since camp this week, clearly, but for all of training camp. Had some elite throws, as a couple of the local media said on site. So
on Saturday too, but
and people are saying he's having a better chemistry with Jahan as opposed to Terry. But I think you could probably, whatever you think it is, it could be a lack of reps because Jahan was there for minicamp, or it could just be, the hype was around Jahan and not Terry. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about?
He seemed to have some good chemistry with Terry
when it counted
on some of those throws on Saturday.
It sure did.
That touchdown was nice. Here's the other thing. Okay, let's talk wide receivers. Terry looked good. Jahan dropped 2 passes that was just like, dude, what are you doing? He dropped 2. He dropped 2. One of them was a tough one.
One was a tough one, yes. Where his towel got ripped off.
He almost came up with it, and that would have been an amazing catch if he had. But he also caught a few, especially he caught a really nice one on a deep slant. Would have been an easy 20+ yard gain. Terry looked fine. Terry caught a touchdown pass, caught a couple other passes as well from Carson. Curtis Samuel. I think Ron's pulling the old Bill Belichick, Mike Shanahan school of don't let them know what you're doing.
Everyone's questionable every week.
Questionable. Curtis was out there a lot, and Curtis even caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
On an out route in the end zone. And Curtis looked pretty good just doing what he does with those little, 8-10 yard routes. And he was out there a lot with the ones and even did some work with the twos, but mostly with the ones. And I'm like, this guy doesn't look like he's out of condition. Now, granted, it is practice and he's not, he's being shuttled in and out. But I think you're going to see a lot of that anyway. But I think he's in better condition and better shape and ready to go in ways they're not letting on.
Hope so. We could sure use it. He could. I mean, still don't know him and John 2A 2B. Hard to tell depending how they use them. But I don't know. Dev thinks that Curtis Samuel is one of the most dangerous people on the team. Isn't that what you tweeted last week?
Yeah, man. I think that there's no one. We don't have anything like that.
He's dynamic.
I haven't seen Dotson play yet. So
I think JD is probably the next closest thing.
Yeah, JD's got the most class out of him. And
here's the thing, and I think Steve saw some of this, although Steve missed some of the one-on-one drills and stuff. Dotson finds ways to get open. He is always open. He doesn't always hit the ball thrown to him, especially when Taylor's back there. But every time the ball was thrown in his area, he was, except for that one, had a really bad drop. And then he had one where a defender was on him. But the other times he was open and caught the ball, he was open. Like he found spots in the zone. He beat his man on man coverage. By the way, now maybe this is a camp thing. Hell of a lot more man coverage by the defense on Saturday.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that's a camp thing or what. Kendall Fuller came up big going one-on-one with Terry on a deep route where, he got inside position on Terry and broke up the pass. But I was happy to see that because, we worry about the corners. But if Kendall's going step for step with Terry, I'm not worried.
Yeah. Need to have Curtis healthy. That's what it comes down to. Make the mismatches. And if you just imagine a healthy Curtis, Jahan, Terry, and then pair that with Logan and Cole Turner, and then or even Bates for that matter. It's because they're saying Cole is becoming the extremely good wide receiving tight end. So it's exciting, man. It's all good problems to have. We never really had these good problems in the past. It's been difficult. And don't get me started on linebackers. That's a different story. Don't get Des started on linebackers. That's a whole nother different story, different ball of wax. But speaking of McKissick,
linebacker on Sunday.
Dallas is great. We need one to start. Dallas is ready to sign your boy from the Bears. Talking about trading for him.
Yeah, he just announced that he It feels he's not wanted there. And
Dude, they get him, Parsons, and Bard, linebacker, we're in trouble, bro. I'm just saying, man.
Roquan Smith. That's right. Is he an Alabama guy? Georgia guy?
But he's like
that
dude had like 100
in the SEC.
He had like 100 tackles, 15 sacks, 5 interceptions, something crazy. Like, man,
he was good. He was I'm trying to remember where he was drafted at. Like where
he's obviously a first round pick because he's on his 5th year extension.
Yeah, no, he was the top prospect the year he was drafted. I remember because a lot of people were had a buzz in Washington about wanting him. But does he play? Where does he play though?
Mike. He's a Mike.
Oh man.
Right. It just doesn't. I mean, like I sit and thought about that. I thought about hitting you guys a messenger. I would offer Payne for him and see what you could do, man.
I would too.
I mean, and I love Payne. I think Payne's going to have his best year. I think Payne
is a contract year. He better have his best year.
I think he's going to have his best year.
Trade him straight up. 2 5th year.
I don't think we can afford him.
Yeah,
and I would trade him, and I would just trade him straight up. I would offer him anything like from 3 to 4 for him on top, because Roquan Smith, how you say his name? He's a Pro Bowler, man. The guy basically should have been an All Pro if he wasn't last year. If he wasn't, he probably should have been. So I don't know what to say, man. All this whole we only use 3 linebackers, like. We run nickel 85% of the time, man. We need to be in to play our best, put our best players on the field defense. Whatever defense that is, that's what we need to be in. Put our best players on the field formation. That's what we need to be in.
We're gonna be running two linebackers.
Man, one of them needs to be Roquan Smith, dog. That's what needs to happen. I mean, honestly, he's better than
I was looking up.
He's the best player on our team, bro.
I was looking up this dude we signed it with that played for Philly.
Jerry?
He did start for them. And
what's that matter? What was the Eagles' defense rate last year?
Hold on, it wasn't last year. It was the year before. He was with San Francisco last year. But the year before he started for Philly, he started almost the entire season. And his numbers are solid, man. He got a couple sacks, a couple interceptions, lots of tackles. Great. Apparently, he's like a 4-4 guy at linebacker.
Yeah, he used to play safety, though. What's his grade?
I
thought he played safety. I thought he played safety for the Eagles, like a little bit.
No, he played backer. He was a backer. He was a outside linebacker for them.
A weak side or kind of.
So we can say we finally signed a linebacker.
What's his name again?
Something Gary, like Gery.
Geary. Nathan Geary. Nate Geary.
Gary. You guys get that reference?
It was great.
Wait, which one are you doing? Are you doing Richard? What's his name? Richard Simmons on Howard Stern.
Gary, Team America.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember the actor's name was Gary.
Yeah, I'm a Stern guy. Yeah, I was a radio guy.
I'm a Stern guy too. I haven't listened to him in a while because it's sports season, but
I don't listen to him anymore because he's trash. But back in the day, it was funny.
I don't see a grade for him last year. Am I tripping?
I don't know. He might not even played enough to warrant a grade of any type.
He didn't play last year. I think he was hurt.
Oh.
He got a 45 grade in 20, bro. That dude ain't 45? Getting on the field, man.
70. He has 71 pass rush grade though. That always helps.
Does he play on the outside?
He cannot. He is.
Man, he's a pass cover guy. He's a pass cover guy.
No, he's not. His coverage grade brings him down. His coverage grade is 38.6.
I'm talking
Never
about
mind. He can't cover a tight end. Although I will say this. We were talking about this. Someone says that Terry, apparently burned him for a touchdown. And I said, I hope Terry McLaurin can burn a linebacker for a touchdown. Like that, for a linebacker to get burned by Terry should not really be how we measure their effectiveness.
Everyone burns our linebackers, so it's not like it's anything new. We're used to it. Right? He is a veteran, though. He is a veteran.
He ran a 4.5. I could have sworn Ron said today at the press conference that dude was a coverage back, one of the best coverage backs in the league. I could have sworn. Was he talking about somebody else? Because that's
5th round pick of the Eagles in 2017. Started 22 of 46 games. Signature season came in 2019 when he started 12 games, 78 tackles, 4 for loss, 5 quarterback hits, 5 passes defended, and 2 picks. He was on pace to post similar numbers in 2020. Started the first 7 games, but tore his Achilles. 49ers signed him in the offseason of 2020, but never made it to the active roster. Waived in the preseason, returned to the practice squad, and then he sat 2021 out. And
Solid
so here he
depth.
is.
That's what he is. He's a
So
depth guy.
he's a Achilles guy. That's hit or miss.
He's a guy's not gonna make the team. So
We'll
like
see
I
what
said,
happens.
we need to get a guy who's gonna make the team, man. We need a guy who's gonna play.
I can't argue with that.
I don't want to talk about any other guys who are coming to back up Davis and Holcomb, dog. If they ain't better than Davis and Holcomb, dog, we don't need to conversate about them.
Yeah, don't even need to talk about anything we're talking about.
Right? What's the point? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like all these defensive backs, ain't none of them gonna make the team. All these dudes we bringing in, ain't none of them dudes gonna be on the team, dog.
Right.
You need to find out who's going to be at that 52, 53 spot. You want the best guys there too, just in case they play.
Yeah, but I guarantee
On
you,
a side note,
guys.
Taking my family to the game on Saturday versus the Panthers, I scored 5 tickets and a red zone parking, 5 club tickets and a red zone parking pass, all for $150.
Wow.
For 5 people. Insane. The tickets were $20 a pop plus Ticketmaster fees. And I went on StubHub, found a red zone parking pass for $29 instead of $65, which is what it normally costs. So someone in the club was just trying to get rid of tickets. $20 a pop up in 307, right in the corner, over just to the left of where we were, Phil.
I'm telling you, those club seats, man.
It's very nice.
Like,
very
kudos
nice
to this organization. They got that one right.
Ooh. And Dev, over the end zone, there's a new section. It used to be the standing room area, the party deck, but now it's over the end zones up in the club level. There's these cocktail tables, and there's 2 seats on each side of the cocktail table. So it's like if you and I went to a game, we'd have our own little table. But they haven't released those for like season ticket. I haven't seen any for sale, so I don't know how it's working. It says more, to be published. But those are some pretty cool seats too. We used to be standing at our table, so
those used to be the ones. We want to talk about one of the things that irritated me with this organization. Like it really, royally pissed me off when they did this. They got mad because the fans in those standing room only seats would bang on the metal partition to create noise during the game, and they were stopping fans from doing that. And that always got me because I'm like, you need as much noise as you
as long as it's when they're on defense. Why not?
I mean, and that was actually when that was actually one of the things that gave FedEx a bit of a home field advantage earlier on, and then they started being totally corporate about it. I hopefully think that some of that has stopped.
Yeah, I hope so too.
One other thing, I'm sure Steve wants to give a shout out to a certain VP of this company or this team for leading by example.
Yeah. So as we close it down real quick, Dev, I'm coming in the main gate, and the senior VP for guest services, Mr. Joey Colby Begovich, is scanning tickets. He's scanning tickets, literally scanning tickets of people coming into the stadium. I'll put the background back on. And what executive does that? Like maybe he's trying to do his part, whatever. And so I see him scanning tickets. I take a picture. I come inside, and then he's right in front of me. I'm like, "Hey, Joey, what's up?" He gets off his phone to acknowledge me, say hi, and then I just kind of keep walking because I didn't want to bother him. We go up top, and I'm showing Phil the picture of Joey scanning tickets. I'm like, "This is just the coolest thing I've ever seen." It was pretty awesome. And lo and behold, who's sitting behind us is Joey's husband. And so they get up to leave, and he's like, "Excuse me, I heard everything you said about my husband." And I'm like, "What?" I was talking about. Are you about to throw down?
And he's checking him out.
He was like, "No, like I heard you talking to your friend about my husband. It was just so nice to hear random strangers giving compliments." And I mean, I was just being honest, but it was just crazy how that worked out. I saw him, I said it, and then he was just happened to be sitting behind Phil and I, and he was just so thankful. And
I knew Joey, and I knew who it's funny because I knew who it was because I caught that Joey was behind me, but Joey was busy talking to his daughter and his husband. So I was like, well, I'm not going to say anything. He's busy. I'll leave it alone. But then when they stood up and he said something to Steve, I knew exactly where he might be going with it, because I was like, "Yep, he heard."
Yeah,
But,
it was crazy. It was just a cool story. I mean, it was nice.
Guy, man.
Yeah.
Did you get to talk to Joey at all?
No, I went down to talk to my friend. I saw, like Phil said, I saw him pop down. He was only there for like maybe 30 seconds. The guy was busy.
Yeah, he was
busy trying to make everything right for the day, and we appreciated that. So it was a good time.
They did a good job with this one.
Yeah,
I hope it continues. This really was one of the better events they've put on so far.
Yeah, bravo. Hats off to the team. You know, as much as we criticize them, and especially me, hard on them, they knocked this one out the park. Of all the events, this one was done right. You know, step one in the rebrand, first time we've been at the field. So I'll let you guys know on Saturday how it really is for the first semi-game experience. I'll try to take some good footage for you guys and see.
Just remember, it's preseason for all the ticket takers and everybody too.
That's right. It sure is. We got to knock the dust off. But hey, thanks for tuning into the show. We really appreciate it. You know, we covered a little bit of training camp and Sam Mills, Mr. Jeff Z, the new DL coach, and hey, we're week 3 of training camp. Preseason starts this week. It's crazy that football is back. It is just insane how fast it comes. I can't believe it. You know, 3 weeks from now, we'll be playing. Well, 4 weeks from now, we'll be in the regular season. It's insane. And then all the fantasy drafts coming in a couple weeks. It's going to be fun. And then also, we will hopefully continue our FanDuel daily fantasy leagues we do every Sunday. So we'll be pitching that here coming as we get closer, but it's one of those things. If you're going to be in, you're going to be in, and we hope you could make the couple dollar bet every Sunday, winner take all. Should be fun. I had a lot of good times last season doing this.
And I'm taking my season-long title in fantasy back
of the ESPN league.
Yes, I'm taking my title back.
What are we doing
2020?
I don't even remember when it's scheduled. I think it's right first week of September. Something like that. After all the roster cuts are made and preseason's over and before the first game of the season starts. So the season starts second week of September. So it'll be sometime in that first week of September.
Championship.
We shall see. But fellas, let's break it down. You guys got any shout outs before we close out?
I got somebody I could shout out, but I'm not because I'm gonna be nice. I'm doing a little research on him. If you've been on Twitter lately, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right.
Shout out to Jesus Christ. He's awesome.
Say that again.
Dev wants an autograph from Carson Wentz.
Shout out to Jesus Christ.
He wants
Savior.
the autograph.
The HTTC.
His name we pray.
You know, Jesus is up there listening to that album on repeat with Prodigy.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Man. Sickle cell. Shout out.
And all I could think of was Tupac, man. When
Man.
Don't
put up this song's that on me. I got sickle cell too. Don't put it on
I know. When Tupac was hitting Prodigy with it, that's all I could think about.
We're gonna have a competitive podcast. Like, don't one of y'all niggas got sickle cell?
Oh, damn.
Oh, man. That's good stuff.
This track that would come from that would be fire.
His fofo make sure all our kids don't grow. That's right. Hey, we appreciate you guys, and please go check out, like I said, the previous vlog of the Open Commanders practice. And until next time, as always, peace and hail.